It is your Smackdown review for November 15th, 2019. This is the Frost, and we are here to talk about Smackdown. And this show, just top to bottom, was the first hour was definitely rough. I think the second hour was a little bit better, but other than that, this show was just eh. The ending segment was absolutely fantastic between Daniel Bryan and The Fiend. NXT did have some invasions this week, but did you really care about them as much as you did last time? More likely not. But the show started off the same exact way it did last week, with Baron Corbin. This time, we had a new rendition of the three-man bland. What's the three-man bland, you might ask? It's any combination of three guys put together in WWE that are bland together. It started off with, last year, Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, and Braun Strowman. Ziggler and Braun Strowman were gone, and then it became Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre. We fast forward to now, and it's Drew McIntyre, not Drew McIntyre, but Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and Robert Roode. And I tweeted this out, and I'm like, man, I miss the NXT days of Bobby Roode, because he was the best heel in the business just 2.5 years ago. And now he's being straddled to be one of the cronies of Baron Corbin, which to me is a death sentence for your career. Your career goes nowhere when you're teamed up with Baron Corbin. Basically, Corbin comes out and says, I am the new captain of Team Smackdown. They show us a team which is Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, Chad Gable, and I guess a newly rechristened Mustafa Ali. Baron Corbin over the week has stated on Twitter how those two, Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali, do not deserve to have their spots in the Survivor Series team match. So it has been set up that tonight it will be Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode versus Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. The winners will be going to Survivor Series, which, one, I'm fine with, because quite honestly, you should be earning your spot to go for SmackDown, to be able to be part of the SmackDown team for Survivor Series. Up until tonight, the only two people in both the men and the women who've actually earned their spots are Dana Brooke and Carmella. Roman didn't, Braun didn't, Baron Corbin didn't, Lacey Evans sure as hell didn't, and neither did Sasha Banks. Just those two. But I was fine with that. And then he continues to make fun of Roman Reigns as the big dog. He wants Roman to come out to watch his boys get beat and have their spot disappear. Roman's music starts up, but then it starts having this chihuahua bark in it, and we see a drawn little dog looking like Roman Reigns, like wearing like a Roman shirt or something, just representing Roman Reigns. And then if you would have told me they were in Georgia, and then at the University of Georgia, I wouldn't have seen it any other way because they were in Philadelphia. But they had a bulldog, a man dressed as a bulldog, wearing a Roman Reigns vest, walk down to the ring, bend at the knee, and then get on his knees and start shaking. And that's how SmackDown tonight started. So yeah, that's the way SmackDown wanted to start, but we did get Baron Corbin on the outside for Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode versus Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali. Match was fine. It was decent. We had Roman Reigns make his way out halfway through it because he got tired. He's like, I've heard enough. I'm going to come out here, and if Baron Corbin wants to get involved, I'm going to come out here and make sure that he doesn't screw these two out of their spot. If they're going to lose their spot, it's going to be fair and square. So, of course, Roman Reigns comes out, which leads to Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable winning this match. Hold on here, get my cursor to work and everything. Let's see. Basically, Roode slams Reigns face first into the announce table after Corbin goes to because Bobby Roode wants a scepter. Corbin has a scepter. Bobby Roode wants it to be able to win this match. Reigns hits the drive-by on Corbin. Roode comes out, slams him face first into the announce table. Mustafa Ali flies out with a dive and sends Roode over the table. Reigns follows up with a big spear to Corbin, who was looking to clothesline Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali moved out of the way. Ziggler takes advantage of the chaos and rolls up Chad Gable for a 2 count. Gable ends up nailing the Chaos Theory German suplex. Mustafa Ali follows up with a 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3. Mustafa Ali and Chad Gable are your winners, and they can stay on Team Survivor Series for SmackDown, or Team SmackDown for Survivor Series. Bringing another episode of the Firefly Funhouse with Wyatt. He has the Universal title sitting on the table. He does a little spin move. He spins around a couple times, and a hat appears, and a cape, and a magic wand. Does some kind of incantation, and then says like "Alakazam," da da da, and poof, the Universal title is now blue. Yes, I need to update my graphic here in a minute, but yes, the red strap is gone. The blue strap is on the Universal Championship, and I'm gonna be honest, it looks a hell of a lot better. It's just for some reason the blue championship belt looks a lot. It's not as much of an eyesore as the red belt is, as you see on my screen here. Completely blue. Seems to work a lot better than what they did with the red strap. So, and a lot of people are criticizing this that, well, it's the Fiend. They should be doing some kind of the Fiend themed championship belt. No. The Fiend has not earned that type of belt. It's not one of those things that you're going to have the Fiend get a special championship belt when nobody else gets a special championship belt. This isn't John Cena. He's not Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's the Fiend who's already had a couple hits to his aura. If WWE doesn't play it right from here on out, they could really destroy the Fiend by this time next year. I'm calling it now. By November 15th, 2020, the Fiend will be no longer Universal Champion and no longer one of the top guys in WWE. He'll be down in catering, hardly being used, and just being the eater of L's again. Corbin, Blue, Ziggler, and the mascot dog are backstage, and everyone is upset. Corbin has an idea to fix what happened. He walks off with the mascot. I don't know. I don't care. Braun Strowman marches out to the ring with Drew Gulak and the B team waiting for him in the middle of the ring. Basically, it was a 3-on-1. It's supposed to be a 3-on-1 handicap match. Braun Strowman beats up the B team and Drew Gulak, taking out both the B team while Drew Gulak waits on the outside, and that was that. Backstage, Kayla Braxton with the tag team champions, New Day's Kofi Kingston and Big E, hype up tonight's title defense. Kofi with a platter full of pancakes says they won these titles in honor of injured Xavier Woods, and they will defend them in honor of Xavier Woods, and they will defend them in honor of him tonight, and see Big E do his New Day grand entrance. Then music hits, and they head to the ring. Now, why did this match happen? I really want to know. Didn't Shane McMahon at the beginning of this year tell us that automatic rematches were antiquated? They were not a thing anymore. But here we are, a week later, and this tag team match is going to happen. Surely NXT is going to make the present felt in this match. Surely you're not going to let this match go to a complete stance, like have this match go to a winner. Surely you're not going to do that. And you would be right. This was a fantastic match. These two teams work really well together. I can see why they want to have these guys have a championship match. It seems like every single week. The Undisputed Era attack towards the end of this match as all four superstars are down after Kofi flies in. Big E got hit with the Shadow Machine. Kofi flies in and breaks up the pin. All four men are down. The Undisputed Era come in and just waste everybody who's in the middle of the ring. New Day win by DQ because they attack Kofi Kingston first. After the bell, the attack continues as Fisher and O'Reilly pull Dash out of the ring and beat him down. All four members enter the ring, unload on Big E and Dawson. A large group of SmackDown superstars run down to make the save as the Undisputed Era retreat to the crowd. The Undisputed Era taunt the Blue Brand superstars from the crowd, and they look on from the ring, and we go to commercial break. Not a bad thing. The New Day and the Revival putting on a fantastic match, a championship match, which I would not be surprised because next week is the go-home show. We get this match again because there was no conclusive finish this time. Just hold it there. I'm sure we're going to get that happening next week. Heavy Machinery versus Kevin Tibbs, Kip Stevens. This is a squash match. Do I need to say more? No. Tucker and Tucker and Dozovich win in about a minute and a half. Did you care? No. Do I care? No. And that's to show us some recent attacks between NXT and main roster superstars in the women's division. Kayla Braxton is backstage with Sasha Banks and women's champion Bayley because of her recent attacks. Bayley says Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler no longer see her as just an afterthought. Kayla Braxton asked her if these were personal attacks, and she said, absolutely, I am a force to be reckoned with. These are all impersonal because I'm on a roll because I don't fight for them. I don't fight for anybody in the back. I fight for myself. Crushing everybody gives me personal joy. She goes on, she talks, and she looks forward to crushing Nikki Scream tonight. Banks also has forwards for Cross and says she's letting Bayley go out there on alone and letting her take care of Cross by herself. Maybe she will join Team SmackDown after she beats Nikki Cross so them together can take on Team NXT and Team Raw. Then that match is what we had next. Nikki Cross versus Bayley. If Nikki Cross beats Bayley, she is the final member of Team SmackDown for the women match. Another good, little decent match here. But let's see what we got here. Bell rings. Bayley takes control and they go for the floor. Bayley sends Cross into the steel ring. Women's champion Shayna Baszler comes to ringside and Bayley jumps in the ring. Baszler then jumps in the ring, but Bayley retreats to the crowd. Tegan Knox, Rhea Ripley, Dakota Kai, and Mia Yim all appear behind Bayley. She gets dropped, and then Ripley slams her over the barrier back to the ringside floor. Baszler looks on from the ring, but Sasha Banks runs out of nowhere and drops her. The NXT superstar stare Banks down from ringside. They go hit the ring on Banks, but down come superstars Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Carmella, and Dana Brooke. Baszler and Bayley brawl out into the crowd while the others brawl in the ring. The NXT superstars retreat to the crowd as the Blue Brand stars stand tall in the ring. Sasha takes the ring and says if they want the spotlight, she will give it to them. She proposes an 8-woman tag match, and it's on, so we get to go to commercial for the two sides having words from the ring right there. So Sasha Banks, Dana Brooke, Carmella, and Nikki Cross versus Rhea Ripley, Mia Yim, Tegan Knox, and Dakota Kai. Why would you give away pretty much what is probably going to be a third of the Survivor Series match for the women? Dana Brooks on that team. Sasha Banks is on that team. Carmella is on that team. Apparently, Nikki Cross is on that team too. It would not surprise me if Rhea Ripley, Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, and Dakota Kai are some of your women going to be on the NXT team. Why would you give this away? This pretty much is giving away Survivor Series. The WWE doesn't fucking think. Another problem with this is Ripley with a huge dropkick to Dana Brooke. Banks levels Ripley into the corner. Kai kicks Banks out of the ring. Cross comes off the top but misses Kai. Kai with a scorpion kick to Cross to put her back down. Cross blocks a suplex and drops Kai in the middle of the ring with the purge. Cross covers Kai. 1, 2, 3. Sasha Banks, Nikki Cross, Dana Brooke, and Carmella are your winners. After the match, the NXT superstars attack Kai until the others quickly make the SmackDown superstars. A big brawl breaks out. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville run back down to the ring to help clear it out. The SmackDown superstars look on from the ring as the NXT superstars talk trash heading to the back. This is SmackDown. If you're doing an NXT invasion, this is the same problem they had on Monday Night Raw. You had the taped episode from Monday Night Raw, and you had Imperium, Mark Andrews, and Flash Morgan Webster all get beat, let alone squashed, on Monday Night Raw. NXT should not be losing on Raw and SmackDown in this build-up to Survivor Series. The receipt comes Wednesday. Bayley took out Shayna Baszler on Wednesday. Have them come in Wednesday, and you have a match or whatever there, and you have them taken out there. And another thing, this is supposed to be Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. Why have we not had Raw and SmackDown attack each other yet? It just seems like it's NXT versus WWE. I don't know why the fuck WWE has really killed any interest that we should have in this entire build to Survivor Series. Nothing outside of that first episode, which was fantastic. Raw the next week sucked. NXT, yes, they had the OC on it last week. Really didn't do anything to pique my interest for this match. this pay-per-view. SmackDown last week was absolutely atrocious. Monday Night Raw this week was absolutely atrocious. NXT did nothing, absolutely nothing to build to Survivor Series at all. We don't even know who's going to be on the NXT teams for the men and the women. I know they have War Games the night before, but what are we going to do? We're going to find out at Survivor Series who's on Team NXT for the men and on Team NXT for the women? That's kind of stupid. This is the problem with them doing this year. Next year, starting with the Royal Rumble outside of Tampa, which is where WrestleMania is going to happen, it seems like the Big Four are not going to be having NXT takeovers. They're going to change it up a little bit. If you wanted to move War Games to December or October next year or whatever, and get a takeover in its own month away from the WWE's main roster pay-per-view, fine. So, and it would make a lot of sense then. Having NXT have to build towards War Games, try and make that their main focus, plus build towards Survivor Series, has not been good, has not been easy, and really hasn't. And like it's like NXT is almost feeling like it's going to be an afterthought. I'm going to make a prediction right now. NXT is taking the pinfall in every single one of their matches. Every single one of the triple threat matches, NXT is going to be taking the pinfall. Why? Because it's a Vince McMahon show. Backstage, Daniel Bryan is walking. Earlier in the show, he was confronted by Sami Zayn because he did not give them an answer yet. Sami Zayn still wanted an answer. Daniel Bryan flat out told him, if you had my back, where were you last week when The Fiend had me down dead to rights in the Mandible Claw? I don't need your help. I'm not joining you. That is that. It is Miz TV with Daniel Bryan. Miz starts talking about The Fiend. He brought up the Universal title to SmackDown and attacked Daniel Bryan last week. Miz says he's going to find out why. He introduces Daniel Bryan, makes his way out, and Cole shows that The Fiend attacked Bryan last week. Miz asks Bryan why he thinks The Fiend attacked him. Bryan doesn't answer. Miz acknowledges they don't like each other, but it's a simple question. Why? Out of everyone in the locker room, did The Fiend choose Bryan? Bryan still won't answer. Miz says he thinks the attack happened because The Fiend sees how Bryan isn't who he used to be, how he's confused about who he is these days, and he starts ranting and says The Fiend sees how Bryan is washed up now and wants to be the one to end Bryan. Bryan stands up, takes the mic, and says he will talk about Bray in just a second, but the reason he was quiet is because Miz TV sucks. And has always sucked. Some fans boo. Bryan says Miz is right. He's not the man he was, and he's not the leader of the Yes Movement. He might be washed up and mentally unstable, but there's one thing that's the same as before. Passion. The passion that helped him overcome the odds at WrestleMania. He keeps going on, but Miz interrupts and Bryan screams at him to shut up. Bryan says no one understands the passion and the mental instability together which caused him to kill the Yes Movement. Kick a man in the balls to win the WWE title. No one understands the passion, that kind of instability, the passion and that kind of instability together, but Wyatt does. He goes on about how mentally unstable the Fiend is, and says, so he is, and there is no one better to fight someone mentally unstable than the Firefly Funhouse pops up, and Bray Wyatt is there. Wyatt tells Bryan, it's rude to discuss a man when he's not present. He goes, why the Fiend attacked? Maybe the Fiend just wants to play with Bryan, pulls various toys out of his chest, then brings out his favorite, the WWE Universal title. He says, maybe it's because if you remember what you did, because the Fiend does remember, and maybe that's why he's after you. Then he asks if you want to come play. Just have to say that one magical word. Fans are chanting yes, but Bryan says no. Abby the Witch says yes. Bryan says no. The Mercy the Buzzard says yes. Bryan says no. Huskus the Pig Boy says yes. Bryan says no. Rambling Rabbit says yes. Bryan says no. No. Bryan is not going to go back and play with Wyatt and his puppets. He says if Wyatt is trying to manipulate him and the people, it won't work. If Wyatt wants to fight, let's fight, but let's do it for the Universal title. What do you say about that? Wyatt says, I guess I'll just have to say yes. 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 And he's just going with the yes and yes and yes. And then Firefly Funhouse music hits, Wyatt goes off the big screen, and it just seemed really awkward because Bryan's like, is that it? Is that it? And Miz says, well, there you have it. At Survivor Series, it is going to be Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. So that has been confirmed, and quite honestly, what the original match was supposed to be, we could all be thanking our lucky stars that we're getting Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, because it was supposed to be The Fiend versus The Miz. I don't know if I'm the only one who's going to say this, but I don't want to see that match for the Universal title ever. Now, this is going to be interesting to see what happens with Daniel Bryan and how dark does he, like, where does he go down into that dark place to, match up with The Fiend? What are we going to get between these two? It's going to be interesting. I know it sucks that we only have 1 week to really build this. I mean, yes, Survivor Series is a week from Sunday, so next week's already the go-home show. They have so many fucking events. If it wasn't for the whole Crown Jewel shit that we had to go through, we would have another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have like another 3 or 4 weeks to build to Survivor Series, and this pay-per-view match would feel a little bit more special. It just feels like they're rushing to get this one out there because they scrapped their original plans. Am I excited for it? Yes, it should be interesting to see what Daniel Bryan does. Remember, this guy was the same guy last year who kicked AJ Styles in the balls to take the title, the WWE Championship, away from him, and now he's going against The Fiend to get to try and take the championship away from him. But that is your SmackDown review for Friday, November 15, 2019. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFranceClub. Go over and check The France Plays for gaming content, and I'm going to be trying to get up as much as I can. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.